gentlemen, welcome to
Battling with Bourbon!
I'm your host, Rockstar Johnny Nye.
And I'm your host, the real effing deal, Mike Verdusco.
And today, we have a very special Taste Test
Tuesday.
We have a very special batch of Stagg, which
Stagg
is no longer Stagg Junior. It's a batch 23A coming in at 130.2 proof. Going up against a Russell's 13, which is 114.8 proof, 13 years old. This is roughly 8 to 9 years old.
Mm-hmm. And this is 13 years old.
Yep, I just said that. And then we're going to battle these bad boys against each other.
Little older, little less proof, little younger, little higher proof.
Absolutely. And these are traditionally two of our really
favorites. Yeah.
So we're going to see, like, this is really, outside of, like, some of the really, really high-end Weller stuff, this is probably our favorite Buffalo Trace product.
What does this come out, 4 to 8 times a year?
Yeah.
I think it's 4 times a year, 2 different batches, so it makes it, 8. This one over here comes about 4 to 5 times a year, except this year, 2025 will not have, or 2024 will not have a Russell's 13 release.
Nope.
They bumped it up to a Russell's 15 release.
Yep, just for this year.
Which we just found out was such a low yield due to Angel's share that it won't end up being barrel proof like the other Russell's 13 previous offerings.
Right.
They had to add a flick of water. They ensured us it's still going to be a higher proof, but it was such a low yield that they did need to have a little water to it in order to make it sellable.
It's probably going to be closer to that single barrel 110 proof-ish.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
Kind of what we're heard.
Yep.
But yeah, it should still be awesome. But it's kind of a battle of two of our real go-tos.
It is. We love the Russells. Obviously everybody loves Sazerac. We love Stagg. So we're gonna give them a heads up. Which one's in the front? Which one's in the back?
Stagg is in the front.
Stagg's in the front. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a little nose. Now I am gonna start with the Russells, I think.
Yeah, Stagg is a higher proof.
Yeah, it's already in my hand, so I'm gonna nose it.
Very Stagg, reminiscent of every Stagg I've had on the nose.
Very Rickhouse smelly. If you guys ever had a chance to do a tour, this smells like the Rickhouse. Not too overpowering. You don't get a whole lot of ethanol on the nose. It's nice and good nose. I want to say smooth, even though I don't know if a nose can be smooth or not.
It can be. I can say that, but
there's a lot of cherry, a lot of oak.
Yeah, those cherry oak vanillas.
Yeah,
that's really what you're getting out of this. The cherry kind of blends into a little grape, but not overpowering the grape.
I'm gonna give this Russell's a nose.
Ooh, that Russell's has.
It's got the cherry, but it's also had that turkey funk.
Yeah.
Me and Johnny always talk about this. Is the turkey going to slaughter it? Is it not going to slaughter it? And this is where it comes to personal preference. Motherfuckers, if you guys give a shit, if we end up picking this over this, fuck you, okay?
Yeah,
Last time I picked a Russell's 10 that had some 13 splashed in there versus the Eagle Rare 10 year, it's like the internet blew up because we chose the wrong ones, okay? It's different taste buds, different profiles. The things I tell you it smells like are what I think it smells like. The things I tell you it tastes like are what I think it tastes like.
Yep.
The winner I choose is what I believe to be the winner. If you differentiate that, by all means, I'd love to hear your feedback. I'd love to hear your comments. Just don't be a dick about it because I'll be a dick right back to you.
Yeah, realistically, every reviewer in the fucking world, it's their opinion. It's not fact. Nothing that in a
unless I say it. If I say it, it's fact. Okay? It's fucking gospel.
It's our opinions, and if our opinions are this way or that way, then it's our opinion, and it goes on to the next round. It is what it is.
Okay, so phenomenal nose.
Oh yeah, the Russell's 13's nose is fucking great.
Okay,
and I'm sorry, if you're not a turkey fan, then you don't understand the turkey funk and how pleasant that can be on the nose. But it's like this rickhousey, cherry, vanilla, got some orange peel in there.
So for me, on the nose, the Russell's is getting the lead so far.
Me too.
I'm going to give it a chew. So off camera, guys, we did this video because I kind of wanted to do this video. Johnny was willing to do it for us. We already brought these on with us to Kentucky. We're in Kentucky filming this week. These are my two personal favorite, and I've never really tried them back to back, usually because they're so good. I'm either just sipping this that night or I'm sipping this that night. I've never really compared the two, but I've always said they're my favorite. So, you know, put in a pickle, I kind of want to see which one I'd choose if I had to choose.
Absolutely.
So we're gonna find out. Go ahead and give this Russell's a little chooski. Okay. Very easily drinkable.
It's the easiest 114 proof I think I've ever had.
Yeah. A lot of cherry and oak.
A lot of cherry oak.
It took me about 2 years to identify what oak profile is. So if you're new and you're picking up nuances and you don't quite yet know what you're doing, it's okay. Everything comes with time and tasting.
Absolutely. Just masterfully done.
Yeah. Masterfully done by some of the world's best master distillers.
It really matches the
Jimmy
nose, honestly. Cherry, oak, vanilla.
It does.
Little
It plays perfect. Not too dry on the palate. A little dry on the palate, but not drier than Stagg.
Definitely
and then
not as dry as the Stagg.
even though it is dry on the palate, what happens is the liquid part leaves you dry, but that cherry flavor stays coating your palate. So the cherry never dissipates.
No.
This finish hasn't stopped finishing for me yet. It's still got some cherry rolling along in there.
There's a lot of nice flavors.
I'm gonna go ahead and hit the Stagg up, give it a little chooski.
Yeah, let's give it a go.
Also goes down smooth.
Spicier on the palate.
And a tad of ethanol, just a tad. I think that's expected at 130, and it's been open less than 20 minutes. But it is ethanol, so I'm gonna take the ethanol out.
Yeah.
I don't want it to weigh it down against the Russells, because Russells, even though it's got a lot filled in there, it wasn't a fresh crack, you know, so it has had time to open up. So I'm just gonna go based off of the notes. And here's the thing. I love the grape note in the Stagg. And this is where we probably should have a ringer, because I know Johnny loves the cherry note in the Russells. Not that I don't love the cherry note in the Russells. It's just, to me, what do I like more?
Sure.
The Stagg is leaving my mouth salivating at the moment, and I thoroughly enjoy that. I need another chew of the Russells before I make a decision, because it is pretty close to me.
The nose definitely for me goes to the Russells.
Mm-hmm. Okay, guys.
Palate's good.
The finish on the Russells is easy to work with, and I kind of like that at this moment of time in the day. I think I'm gonna freak everybody out on my choice. I'll explain it to you though, at least to my rationale, as best as I can. Both these were great on the nose. I think the Russells had a better nose.
Mm-hmm.
Both these were great on the taste. I'd actually pair them even. I like the grape as much as I like the cherry, and both are leaving me yearning for more,
I
so to
actually
speak.
completely agree with you on that.
Yeah.
Like on the palate, they're pretty fucking in line.
Yeah.
And it surprised me.
Yep.
But as close as it can get.
Correct.
On the palate.
Correct. So, but then you're going to take it to the finish, because everything's got to have a finish, right? You're racing to that finish line. I think Russell's got it on the finish. Just a hair smoother on the finish, easier to exhale when you're done. And it could be because of the proof. But it was super smooth on the finish. Still leaves that cherry note yearning for more.
I think where it's better on the finish is that it leaves a lasting flavor that was on the palate.
Correct. Because of the dryness.
It dries you out.
And it wasn't totally dry. I think it was less dry.
It was.
That
but
second.
It still was
but
dry.
it still is dry. But so it's a smidge, guys. A smidge.
And there is
smidge.
That little bitterness.
And hey, if you ran into this for $60, $80 and this is on the shelf for
sure.
$200 or $189 is fair, maybe you leave with this. If it's limit one of each, Leave with both.
Yeah.
Leave with both.
Yeah, I think that tinge of bitterness still is there,
Correct.
and that's what makes the difference.
Yep. And then we did batch, in case we got some Googlers out there, LLLE on this particular one. Okay, guys? LLLE.
Yeah. But yeah, it's got to go on. It's got to be the Russells this time. As good as this was, that finish is drying, and it's got that little bit of the bitterness that just doesn't, it just can't beat this.
Correct. Yeah. The Russell's 12, baby,
13.
is moving on. The Russell's 13. That's one more than 12.
13, baby.
One more than 12.
Moves on to the next round. We're battling with bourbon.
Now, I do have a Russell's 12 coming, so stay tuned.
That's true. Maybe very soon. We'll see you next time. Top Guys out.